Alright, so here we go. You're going to learn today. So today we're going to start working on, basically I'm going to show you how to do several different types of repairs on a plastic bumper cover. These are just going to be everything from just a general sanding out a scratch to how to repair a tab that's ripped off, to a hole that's punched in a bumper, heating it up, working it out, the whole deal. So hope you get something out of this. Hope you learn something. Hope it helps you on your project at home. Let's get rolling. All right, so got something new working on today. This is not War Machine. It's not this thing. You're gonna get introduced to that soon enough. And it's not a bat review. So bought my son this 95 Nissan Maxima for $400 off Facebook Marketplace. And I thought it'd be a cool car for him to kind of fix up. He's 16. It'd be something cool we can fix up together. I think it will be. So he wanted to get a body kit and all that kind of stuff for it, like most kids would, or me. And so we started looking around, and both of us beat the grass, and we could not find bumpers for this car anywhere. Now, I couldn't find them used, couldn't find them new, couldn't find aftermarket ones. They're just not out there. I don't know why. 95 to 99, the stuff just isn't out there. Not Rock Auto, eBay. We looked, it ain't there. So we finally came up on one at local Pull Apart. It's not a fantastic specimen. I will admit it needs a lot of repair. But luckily for us, they forgot to charge us for it, so we got it free. No, we did not steal it. They actually forgot to charge us for it. But what I actually do for a living, I'm an auto body technician, and fixing stuff like this is what I do. It has actually a lot more damage than I thought it had when we got it off the car, I will admit. But it is fixable. So we're going to get started tonight fixing it. Now, as you can see, it's got a big dent here, and there's a dent here, and there's one here, and there's one over here, and there's scrapes and scratches and stuff all over it. All of that stuff is bad in itself. This corner's kind of ground off right here. All of that stuff is bad in itself. But the worst piece of damage that we have is this. This is where the bumper actually attaches to the fender. You've got this metal stud plate right here that sticks through this kind of ear that sticks out off the bumper and sticks through the fender, and you put nuts on it and it holds it in place. Now, all right, so you can see it a little bit better. So what we're gonna do, we've got to take this this mount plate off the back, and we are going to attempt to, I've got a staple gun that melts staples, little metal staples, into the plastic, and hopefully that will hold it in place good enough so that then we can come in with some epoxy plastic repair material that I use at work, that we use to put bumpers and stuff together with all the time. And hopefully between the two of those, that's going to hold this thing in place where it's supposed to be. And if that works, then we'll see about fixing the rest of the bumper. If it doesn't work, we're going to throw it in a dumpster and get a new plan. Look for another bumper. But, well, I guess really, if that doesn't work, you won't ever see this video anyway. So let's get going. The challenge with when you do one like this, because where this piece is made onto the bumper, put that over there on the shelf. Where this piece is made onto the bumper, right here at this edge, is not as thick as this part. Like that, it's got like a little, I don't know, it's really thin right there. I don't know how else to say it. So it tears off really easily. We do it with a lot of later model cars. You see, it'll fit up there really nice. So what we're going to do right here is we're going to get a heat gun, and we're going to kind of warm all this up, because right now where this has been sitting with the wrong shape for so long, it's kind of wanting to hold off right there. So we're going to get a heat gun, and we're going to kind of warm all this up. That way it'll kind of sit kind of in there in shape the way we want, and then we'll get us a couple quick grips to kind of hold it in place, because all this right here is kind of holding it in that funky shape. So we'll grab our heat gun. All right. So basically, when you heat up stuff like this, you want to try to heat up a large area, because if you heat up one area by itself, it will warp the hell out of all of it. So you kind of got to heat all of it up together, even if it takes a minute. Because if you heat it all together, it relaxes. If it all, that way you don't just have one area, because if everything else is cold and the one area relaxes, it'll misshape the plastic real bad. So like a lot of those dents and stuff, we're gonna heat up and we're just gonna push them back out, and we're gonna push the plastic back out, and then we'll be able to sand the damage out of the plastic itself without even having to use body filler. See, a lot of times when you're heating this, you can see the plastic, it'll move. You see that, how it's bending up? It has a shape it wants to go back to. You just have to remind it that that's the shape that it wants to be. All right, so you just basically you want to get it where it's all sanded good with this 80 grit. I'll sand this spot so you kind of can see what I want it to look like. So you're gonna kind of pull that, and then when you get up right here, be kind of gentle with it and sand up in there the best you can to about right there. Then you're gonna come back and sand the inside, the back side of this piece, okay? While he does that, we're gonna take a station break, and I'll just show you what it looks like when we come back. All right, so stop. All right, so he's got this thing all sanded. We sanded it with some 80 grit. We saw we got it all heated up and in place. Now, the reason why we go ahead and sand it now is because it's a lot easier to get in here to sand this backside and to sand all the way into this edge right here. It's a lot easier to sand it now than once we kind of get these tabs welded on it to kind of hold it in place. So we're going to sand it now. Now the reason why we need it sanded anyway is because we're going to put a two-part plastic repair epoxy on this after we weld these nails in here, or staples, to hold this in place. And that gives that epoxy a good mechanical bond. It gives that epoxy something good to bite into to hold this joker together. So it looks like we're going to need to be something like this. I believe she'll be all right. It still wants to twist back. I may try to heat it up a little bit more right quick. Because what I would like to do, well, we'll see if it'll hold with this tape. What I would like to do is, really? No way it would just hold, right? Try to use this, hold it in place while we put our staples on it. That's actually working pretty decent. It does still want to kind of pull back in a little bit, but yeah, I think that's actually going to be really good right there. Now, I don't mind if it's bent in just a little bit, as long as it's not bent out like this. If it's bent in just a little bit, when you go to put it on the car, when you tighten it up, it'll just suck the bumper up closer, which is not a problem. It's just going to make it fit tighter to the body. But if it's bent out this way, it'll tighten up, and you'll have a gap between the bumper and the fender, and that would absolutely drive me crazy if that were to happen. So that's going to be a big fat no-no. So now, I know a lot of times on my channel, I always tell everybody that I like to use tools that are readily available to pretty much anybody in their shop. And I know that sometimes I do have some tools that are a bit more extravagant to some than others. This is going to be one of those tools that most people are not going to have. This is a Pro Spot staple welder. You can get cheaper ones. I think this one is like $900. You can get cheaper ones, but this is what I use at work, and I borrowed it from the shop so that I could come home and weld this together. So basically, you put this little tiny staple in there, you pull the trigger, it heats it, you hold it against your plastic where you want to weld it, you pull the trigger, it melts in that plastic, and then as it melts in, you kind of imagine it going about halfway into the plastic, and then sometimes you can give it a little twist to kind of lock it in, or you can just let your finger off the trigger, let it cool a little bit, and then you just pull it right off, and it'll leave the little tabs sticking out, and you just come back after the fact and cut the little tabs off with wire cutters or something along those lines. So now, put a little staple in here. So I just got to figure out now if I want to try to prop this thing up. Yeah. So I think we're going to reposition. We're going to prop this thing up, and I'll see if he'll grab the camera where we can get a little better angle in here so y'all can see what I'm doing here. So we're going to reposition. So I'm going to try to start from this end because this is the loosest end, I guess you might say. So basically, see how this thing fits like a 90. You can see it get hot. Now it is easy to push this thing all the way through a bumper. I'm not going to say that I won't do it right now. I'm going to try not to. And these little dudes are pretty strong too. Now I'm going to use a whole lot of them to try to hold this thing together, because until we get this epoxy put on here, that's it. Daggone, get in there. So first I'm going to kind of space them out. Now this is one of the ways you could give it a little twist like that. It kind of locks it in there a little bit better because it's got plastic over top of it then. I don't really have a preference, you know, the twist or not. If you can twist it, I could definitely see where it would help. Sometimes, like in this case, you really can't. Good grief. Man, get in there. Now you don't have to push hard. I just let the heat kind of do it and let it work itself in, because if you try to start pushing on it, you'll push it through there. It's really easy to do. I like to kind of hold it in place when I get where I'm going here, and then let it really melt the plastic around it good. Whew. All right. All right, so our next move now, we'll let that all kind of cool for a minute. I'll put the gun up. And then we'll come back with like a pair of wire cutters, and we'll clip off all of those little ends that are still hanging out. And then we'll be ready to start putting our epoxy on. All right, so you see we changed positions here. We use the trusty pole that's holding the house up to kind of get this dude set, because we're getting ready to put this epoxy on. Now this stuff is bad fast. It will set up. It's cold out, so we might get 30 seconds out of it before it locks up, but it sets up really, really fast. So the first thing you have to do, it's a 3M product, so you have to put this adhesion promoter on. Once you get your product all, you get your bumper all sanded like we did earlier, then you spray this stuff on, give it a second to kind of flash off. Then you have to you have to squirt some of this stuff out through the tip and squirt some on some cardboard or a piece of paper and a garbage can or something. That way you know it's mixed up good. And then you just have to start squirting it in here. Now this is a big area. Normally I would do it by myself, and I might do it in a couple of areas here, but since I got him here, I'm gonna basically have him just squirting this stuff down in there, and I got my acid brush right here. I'm gonna be smearing it all over the inside of that to make sure that we get glued up good. So here we go. Hold tight, don't squirt it out yet. So this stuff, you don't spray a ton in there. You just put a nice dust coat on it. And give it a minute to kind of flash off. You can see it kind of flashes off pretty quick. You don't want to put your stuff on there with it soaking wet, all right? All right, that's good. So I'm not worried about these holes right now because we can see them because this stuff's clear. We can see them from the front side, so I can always come back and we can re-drill them. Right now it's all about getting this stuff down so it'll be nice and strong. Let's see, see how it's already kind of kicked off. I can't spread it anymore. I think that'll probably hold nice. All right, well, that's got her epoxied up, so we're gonna let her hang right here for an hour or so and probably till tomorrow. Then we'll come back and kind of see what we've got. If we need to sand it a little bit, we can always put a little bit more epoxy on it. But we'll come back tomorrow and we'll see what we got, see how we want to proceed from there. All right, so this over here is the next day. This is super strong. We're in really good shape right there. So when time comes, we might clean off the backside a little bit so that plate will fit up on there real nice. But other than that, it's in really good shape. It all got good and hard. And it's super strong. So next up, we got, this is where they ran into something in the end of the rebar. Almost pushed all the way through the bumper. Let me show you. So right here, it almost pushed all the way through the bumper. So we got that spot, and then we got another one down here. It's kind of the same. Almost pushed all the way through. See if we got any more like that across here. This is all we're gonna have to heat all this up to kind of get it shaped the way we want. These are just scratches. This is not such a big deal. Same for that, that'll sand out. All right, so for our next trick, we come to the inside, to this spot and this spot. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some more of this, that clear plastic repair epoxy that we use there, and we're gonna put it in here, which means, first things first, we gotta get some 80 grit sandpaper and sand this whole area in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get Mr. Ben to sand that off camera and get that all prepped and ready for us. That way you can see what we're working with here, and then we'll get ready to put some more of that stuff in there. So he's gonna get to sanding now. All right, so you can see he's got this whole area sanded real good with some 80 grit. So we're gonna hit this with our adhesion promoter. Like I said, just kind of throw a quick dust coat on there. You don't have to like wet it out. You give it a minute to kind of flash. A lot of times you spray it in those little small areas like that, it wants to kind of wet up. Especially, it is super cold in here tonight. So then we're gonna go ahead, we gotta squirt out some, make sure it's mixed good out of the tip. And we're gonna lay it down here. Remember, this stuff hits real quick, so spread it in there. And the cold will affect it some, but only so much because it's still a chemical reaction. So basically we're just making the bumper thicker. Let's see if I can save this tip here. Well, that worked out good. Making the bumper thicker so that when we sand the outside, we don't sand all the way through it. You'll see what I'm talking about when we get to that part. We're just not there yet. But right now we're setting up for what we're going to be doing later. See how quick it kicks off? It's already kicking off. I can't spread it anymore. Not well, anyway. I really want to get a little bit right there. Ooh, yeah. All right, so now we just leave that alone and let that set up, and then try to figure out what we need to work on next here. All right, there you go. So would have loved to show you all of it. When I got to looking at the footage, there's no way I could put this all in one video. So I don't know if we can get it done in two. I hope so. If not, I try to keep them short enough so that you can kind of stay interested. People don't have a very long attention span these days. So this is all part one. Hope you come back for the next part and however many it takes. I don't know. I have quite a bit of footage on it, but it's important to me to show you all the steps. That way, if you want to do this at home, you could literally watch this video a couple times and hopefully have the confidence to take any project like this on your own in your shop at home. So I'm Fab Junkie. I would love it if you felt like I earned a subscribe. Go over there and hit that little button for me, and we'll see you in the next one.